What is going on, everybody around the world of YouTube? This is Sonic Mix, and today I'm here to give my review for WWE Monday Night Raw for August 29th, 2016. The last Raw before the end of August. And I just gotta say, this was a good show. And I'm gonna go over everything that happened, promo, for the ones that meant the most. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the night kicked off with the 4 members who are participating for the Universal title in this talk segment here. I thought this was alright. I guess I have to go over with each of the 4. Seth Rollins kind of being himself, and I can see why there may be some people that are bugged about how Seth Rollins is basically doing the same thing when he cuts a promo, and I can see why, and this kind of felt the same. Kevin Owens, I thought, was the main star of this program, the promo. Colin Cassidy held his own. I thought he did alright. Not the best, but he was alright. And the best thing about Roman Reigns, he didn't say anything. He just smacked Kevin Owens. They had a little brawl, and the rest was history. It was alright. I would say it's a give or take. So the first actual match was Chris Jericho versus Neville. Before Jericho came out, he had a backstage promo with Tom Phillips. Great promo. And I have to say, this is Chris Jericho's best work he's ever had, face or heel. The best part was Chris Jericho has been having the habit of saying it. And Chris Jericho said something on the lines of, "Do you know what's coming?" or something like that. And Tom Phillips goes, "It?" And Jericho says, "What do you mean, it? You stupid idiot." Great stuff by Chris Jericho. Fantastic stuff in what he's doing right now. And now the match itself. I thought this was a fun, okay, good match. Chris Jericho, impressive as a performer and talking trash as always. Neville with his athletic ability, and I just thought this was a fun, okay match. Chris Jericho ends the match with the walls of Jericho turning into the lion tamer, which he basically puts his knee on the opponent's head. Which I wish he went back to doing that. That just looked more like a devastating submission hold. Neville taps out, and Neville's been on a losing streak. Don't know why. Unless once he gets into the Cruiserweight division, maybe then he'll start winning matches. But the match was okay, good. Not quite good, but it was okay to the point where it was fun to watch. I give it a 2.75 out of 5. If the match was a little bit longer, I probably would have given it a 3. But for now, it's a 2.75. Up next, we had Nia Jax versus Haya, or a nobody, jobber. That's basically the term everybody calls them. And this is actually Nia Jax's first appearance in about 2 weeks, so I wonder where she was. Why was she absent for those 2 weeks? This was basically your typical contender, famous like Nia Jax, beating on the jobber and squashing the opponents like they're nothing. I'm not really going to get into it because it is a squash match. Nia Jax wins. No surprise. There was a backstage segment with Bayley and the New Day. I thought it was alright. They mentioned that it was going to be a 6-person mixed tag team match, which we haven't seen one of those in quite a while. I can't remember offhand the last time they had it, so I thought it was okay. Up next after that was Jinder Mahal versus Sami Zayn. This was, I don't know if I want to say it was disappointing, but it was short and not really that good, if that's the right term to use. Zayn basically dominated for most of the part, I would say. Jinder Mahal did get most of the offensive, and Zayn basically hit him with the Exploder Suplex, hit him with the Luma Kick, and that was it. I give this match a 2, maybe a 1.75. I don't know. I guess I just found it a little awkward. It was very short, especially with a Sami Zayn match, which is usually longer. But Jinder Mahal has lost again. His first loss coming back was against Neville, so he's not looking too good right now at the moment. And Sami Zayn, what's next for Sami Zayn now? I just wonder. I give it a star and 1.75 out of 5. And then there was a backstage, well, there was a promo with Gallows and Anderson. I'm not a fan of what they're doing. I think they could do better, especially when they should be more serious. Some people may be okay with it. I know there's others that are not okay with it. I tend to be on the category of I'm not okay with it. And it was just kind of whatever to me. I guess I just really didn't care for it that much. I think when Gallows and Anderson were with AJ, I think they were at their best, but they kind of seem to be lost in a way, which is not good. Then we get to the mixed tag team match. It was the New Day and Bayley versus Gallows, Anderson, and Dana Brooke. I thought this was a good match. I thought it was a very good mixed tag team match, which once again, we haven't seen one of these in quite a while. One of my favorite parts was when Xavier, was it Xavier? No, I think it was Kofi. Kofi tagged in Bayley, and Bayley basically did a running drop kick to Anderson, which I thought that was pretty cool, but it was enlightening. And then, obviously, it cut to a commercial break somewhere. Then it came back. And I thought after the commercial break, everything else was pretty much fine for the most part. Bayley picks up the win for her team. She pinned Dana Brooke. And it seems like they're going to do Bayley versus Charlotte at Clash of Champions, which that seems like this is the direction they're going to go. I thought it was a good match. Very solid. I give it a 3 out of 5. Up next was Sheamus versus Cesaro in round 2 in this best of 7 series. I thought this was fine. I think this match could have been a little bit longer. The one thing that I liked, there was a good spot in this match where Sheamus was outside of the ring and Cesaro's charging at him, and Cesaro basically does a backdrop to Cesaro, and Cesaro hits right on the corner of the turnbuckle and the apron at the same time almost. It looked really devastating. And it looked like he might have seriously gotten hurt. I don't know. But it was a fine match. I don't think there was no swing in this match, if I'm not mistaken. But after that backflip onto the turnbuckle, Sheamus puts him back, hits him with the clover leaf, and Cesaro instantly taps out to it. So Sheamus is up 2-0, which something is telling me, and I'm calling it right now, something's telling me that Sheamus is going to go 3-0, and then Cesaro is going to come back and win the next 4. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to call it right now. Once again, it was a fine match. I think these guys could do better, and I give it a 2.5, maybe a 2.75 to be really generous. Up next, I might be missing a promo here and there, and if that is the case, it's probably because it was just a backstage promo and it was really nothing interesting. Actually, I know there was one with Mick Foley, Stephanie, and Seth Rollins, but that was towards the end. But really nothing too exciting about that one, but let's move on. Up next was Strowman against this Captain America Lucha Libre. Actually, this nobody. He kind of looked like Captain America fused with Cyrax from Mortal Kombat. Just wanted to point that out. But anywho, once again, squash match. Strowman dominates him, finishes him with the reverse choke slam, face plant onto the ground. Strowman wins. They're building him up to be a monster. Let's move on. Up next was the Heyman and Stephanie McMahon promo. I thought this was a solid promo. Stephanie McMahon always good on the mic. Paul Heyman, as always good on the mic. I loved how in this one part where the fans were chanting ECW and Stephanie McMahon was like, yeah, I bought ECW. And then the fans started chanting CM Punk. But I think the best part was when, with the $500 fine, Heyman has the money and it's all in singular. So he's counting it 1, 2, 3, 4. Stephanie McMahon's not impressed. Stephanie apologizes and they basically went their ways. It was solid. Very good mic skills from the both of them. I like the stuff that they did. The crowd seemed to be getting into the promo as well. I give it a 3. 3 out of 5. Up next, oh boy. O'Neal versus Darren Young. This was a very boring match. Nobody was not into this match. Darren Young basically wins with a roll-up. And then O'Neal attacks Young and Bob Backlund. Really boring stuff. I don't even know where they're going with this. It doesn't even seem like WWE knows what to do with these guys. With this whole make Darren Young great again, at first it seemed like maybe they were going to make him serious. And now it's like he's brought down to this level. So I guess I'm not too surprised that this was going to be a flop. But let's move on. Star. That's all it really was a star. And then finally, the main event. The Fatal 4-Way. Actually, this was a Fatal 4-Way elimination match, which I did not know was an elimination match. Kevin Owens, Colin Cassidy, a.k.a. Big Cass, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Great Fatal 4-Way elimination match. I'm going to break down basically the spots. One of the spots that I liked was the little stare-off between Colin and Roman. I thought that was a cool spot. Roman diving off of over the ropes and onto, I think it was Colin and Rollins. Whether you love Roman or you hate him, you gotta admit, him diving over the ropes is always impressive. Very, very impressive. There was the double cannonballs by Kevin Owens. The first elimination was Cassidy. He got super kicked by Rollins. Rollins went for the pin. Big Cass kicked out. Big Cass was trying to roll. Kevin Owens hits the frog splash, gets the pin, Cass is eliminated. So now it's Roman, Owens, and Rollins. Everything else after this was great. Rollins attempted to go for the pedigree. He hits, I think he hit the pedigree, and obviously Roman kicked out. The drive-by kick. I mean, there was so many good things about this match. The crowd was really red hot into this match. Towards the end, after Roman laid out Rollins and laid out Owens, Triple H, out of nowhere, hits the pedigree on Roman. He puts him in the ring, then puts Rollins in the ring. Rollins gets the pin. Now, I gotta admit something. I actually bought that Triple H was going to help Rollins beat Owens. I actually bought it. Nope. Triple H pedigreed Rollins. Crowd went nuts when he did that. Owens gets the cover. 1, 2, 3. Crowd ignites. Kevin Owens is your brand new Universal Champion. Wow. And I have to say, you couldn't call for a more awesome ending than that. That ending right there sets up 2 possibilities, if it's ever possible. Which I think one of them is most likely possible. The other one is a shot in the dark. The one that's very most likely is the setup for Triple H versus Rollins. Which I'm wondering, does Rollins becomes a face? Or does Triple H become the face? That's tough right there. Which I would suggest Rollins be's the face, Triple H be's the heel, but it's probably going to be Triple H as the face, Rollins as the heel, I think. And then the long shot, because he pedigreed Roman and he pedigreed Rollins, somewhere down this line, there could be a possible Shield reunion. So, once again, this is an awesome ending here and a good way to set up the next feud. Very good way. Love Kevin Owens. Him winning it was outstanding. I give this match a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really, really good. Overall, this was an okay good show. I know I said this was a good show, but it was okay good. Doesn't quite necessarily hit the 7. Well, no, you know what? No. If I give this overall score, I give this show a 7 out of 10. I think the main event itself was great. And like I said, it sets up the Rollins Triple H match good, the possibility of the Shield reunion, Kevin Owens as the Universal Champion, and now there could be more interesting things to come if they play their cards right. So because of that main event, and yeah, there were 2 matches that were below a 2-star, but that main event, I think, made up for the O'Neal and Young match, obviously, and then the Zayn and Mahal match. So Raw was a good show. I would check out the Fatal 4-Way, the tag team, and I would even check out the Stephanie and Heyman promo. Those were some really good stuff. Overall, 7 out of 10. I thought it was a good Raw, me personally. And hopefully they can extend this and keep this going, hopefully. With that being said, this is my review of WWE Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments. Tell me, how did you like the show? Did you thought it was good? Did you thought it was bad? Why did you like it? Why did you hate it? Leave a like. And as always, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/SonicMix1991. Also on Twitch, twitch.com/SonicMix1991. Links, obviously, in the description box below. And until then, guys, you have a good night, and I will see you later.